Hey everybody, welcome to Crypt Finder. So you all know I've been dropping a video usually about every Friday, but next Friday is Halloween, and a lot of people will be out celebrating, myself included. So therefore I thought, okay, let me drop this video now and skip next week. And then this way it will allow you an entire week to line up some of the movies that I wanted to talk about so you can watch them all week, and it'll even carry you into the weekend. Are you tired of the same old spooky movies every October? Don't get me wrong, we love those. Those are tradition. But I thought maybe this would be a good opportunity to talk about 10 just awesome Halloween movies that have got great October vibes to them. Now, some of these are going to be, oh, they're okay even for kids. I mean, those kids who are sort of taking those first tenuous steps into the genre should be fine. Adults will enjoy them as well. Some of them are outright terrifying. And then some of them you've got some nostalgia vibes and then also some laugh out loud vibes as well. But all of them, all of these movies actually take place on Halloween, which is kind of cool. I'm sorry, just one second. Let me take this. Hello? I'm sorry, what news organization are you with again? Yeah, well, no, I have no comment at all. Don't call here again. Otto? Sorry, everyone. So, no matter what you're in the mood for, right? If it's chills or thrills or even the laugh out loud vibes, I think I found you some fresh twist on October 31st. So, dim the lights, grab your buttered popcorn and your candy, and let's get into it. Oh, Otto. Otto, that was another reporter calling about a werewolf-like sighting because some creature has been chasing all of the pizza delivery drivers, and we live in suburbia. Do you understand suburbia? It is, you can't chase cars. Otto, is this the pizza delivery guy? Well, thank you, Otto. Thank you so much for saving me some. I appreciate it. He looks delicious. I'll have some just a little bit later on. Oh, yeah. You can go howl at the moon. Just stay in the swamp, okay? Sorry, everybody. Okay, so coming in at number 10 from 1985, it is The Midnight Hour. You all know I have an affinity for made-for-TV movies, and so I had to throw one in, but it's the perfect combination of cheesiness and comforting Halloween shenanigans that you would want and expect from a made-for-TV flick. The Midnight Hour originally aired on ABC November 1st, 1985, and since that time it's become a little bit of a cult favorite. Set in the New England town of Pitchford Cove, The Midnight Hour follows a group of high school friends who, on Halloween night, they stumble upon an ancient scroll and inadvertently unleash a centuries-old curse. Maybe it would be better just to leave an ancient scroll alone? Nah, we wouldn't have a movie then. Soon all manner of supernatural creatures rise up and our teens must combat the threat. Granted, some of the teens actually end up becoming monsters themselves in the process, but this horror comedy blend is nice. The movie captures the spirit of sort of 1970s and 80s Halloween TV specials. This movie features a really memorable soundtrack. You have songs by the Smiths and also Creedence Clearwater Revival, and you have an original song that is sung and performed by Sherry Belafonte Harper called Get Dead. Remember, Michael Jackson's Thriller came out in 1982, so the idea of seeing monsters suddenly just break into a song and dance routine, it wasn't that odd. You've got a great cast here, including Sherry Belafonte Harper, as I mentioned. You have LeVar Burton, and he was just about to warp into Star Trek The Next Generation just a year later. You have Peter DeLuise 2 years before he joined the force in 21 Jump Street. Dick Van Patten of Eight is Enough, and Kevin McCarthy from Invasion of the Body Snatchers. You also have actress and singer Janelle Allen, and you also have Lee H. Montgomery starring here. I remember him really well. He was such a gifted child actor. He was in Ben, Burnt Offerings, and Dead of Night. Sadly, he retired from acting only a few years later, around 1988 or so, to pursue some musical projects. This is a mix of spooky and retro charm, perfect viewing for younger kids wanting to make that leap from the super tame Halloween movie lineups and go just a little bit bolder. At number 9 is The Lady in White from 1988. Again, speaking of a gateway for younger fans who are transitioning more into horror, this one actually makes a really nice jump with some creepier vibes. Set in the autumn of 1962 in the small town of Willow Point Falls, Lady in White follows young Frankie Scarletti. He's played by Lucas Haas, who becomes involved in a mystery after a Halloween prank finds him locked in his school's cloakroom overnight. During his confinement, Frankie encounters the ghost of a young girl and witnesses a haunting reenactment of her murder. The supernatural experiences really propel him on to uncover the truth behind a series of gruesome child murders that have plagued their town for a decade. With the aid of spectral figures, including the enigmatic Lady in White, Frankie delves deeper into the town's dark secrets. The film blends elements of horror, mystery, and coming-of-age drama, all set against the backdrop of a nostalgic 1960s Halloween. The Lady in White is not unknown at all, but it is just far enough back in the 1980s that it might have fallen off of a lot of people's radars, and it shouldn't, mainly because the movie is renowned for its atmospheric storytelling. It's garnered a little bit of a cult following over the years, and for good reasons. You have strong supporting performances here by Alex Rocco, Lynn Carew, and Katherine Hellman. It's a nice little film that has supernatural intrigue and a heartfelt narrative. Coming in at number 8 is Over the Garden Wall from 2014. Now, this isn't focusing on a movie, but Over the Garden Wall is instead a 10-episode animated miniseries that first aired on Cartoon Network in November 2014. I guess you could watch the entire thing, which would take you probably 4 or 5 hours, and consider that a movie, but I think this is actually better if you just split it up into little digestible chunks every day up until Halloween. The story follows two half-brothers named Wirt and Greg who find themselves lost in a mysterious forest called the Unknown. As they journey through this odd landscape, they encounter a variety of fantastical beings, including a talking bluebird named Beatrice and a mysterious woodsman. This series blends elements of dark fantasy, folklore, and a kind of odd Americana landscape to it, creating an atmosphere that's both whimsical and eerie. Its unique storytelling and rich, autonomous visuals really make this a beloved favorite. Over the Garden Wall has been praised for its atmospheric storytelling and has become a classic among fans of animated fantasy. There are a lot of videos on YouTube and a lot that's been written on the web with suggested meanings behind this series. Everything from just how to deal with despair and overcoming fears, even to the idea that the entire series really takes place hovering somewhere between life and death. Its blend of humor, mystery, and heartfelt moments make it a standout choice, and this would be okay for kids as well. But some of the larger themes are really going to resonate with adults too. It's just got Halloween vibes all over it, and it makes for some choice viewing during the witching season. At number 7 is WNUF Halloween Special from 2013. This is presented as a discovered VHS recording from October 31st, 1987. WNUF Halloween Special presents itself as like a local TV broadcast that goes just spectacularly off the rails. The film follows investigative reporter Frank Stewart as he heads a live, on-air exploration of the infamous Weber House, a site of alleged paranormal activity and a tragic past. It's meant to be a little Amityville House-like in its reputation. Accompanied by a pair of paranormal investigators and a priest, the team aims to conduct a seance to uncover the house's dark secrets. This is interspersed with period-authentic commercials and news segments, and the broadcast captures the eerie atmosphere of Halloween night, blending humor and suspense in a nostalgic homage to 1980s local television broadcast. The filmmakers went to great lengths to meticulously recreate commercials and news segments from the 1980s. The presentation and commitment to the found footage format really make this just a standout option. If you've only heard about this one but you've never watched it, please seek it out. It's funny and engaging, but as the tension gets shifted during the latter half, it all leads to chaos. Next up is Livid from 2011. This is set in the windswept coastal region of Brittany on Halloween night. Livid follows Lucy, a young woman who is a trainee caregiver, as she accompanies her mentor to the secluded mansion of Deborah Jessel, a once renowned ballet instructor now lying in a coma. Rumors about a hidden treasure within the estate have raised the curiosity of Lucy and her friends, and so, drawn by all the supposed riches, they break in to explore the mansion after dark, only to discover a labyrinth of eerie rooms and supernatural occurrences that sort of blur the lines between reality and nightmare. The film weaves elements of gothic horror, you have sort of a dark fantasy style, and you also have vampire lore in here as well. Livid is noted for its atmospheric visuals and dreamlike storytelling, offering a blend of horror subgenres. Its ambiance makes it a compelling choice for Halloween-themed viewing, but the images are what make this one stand out. You're not going to come away loving this film unless you go in accepting it's a type of fairy tale, and you're ultimately comfortable with that driving the narrative and the conclusion. Yes, the creepiness of the house and all of the visuals within the house, those are the highlights. But this movie really strives to be more of a broad fable. You might find some reference points for later films like Don't Breathe and Abigail. They were made afterward, so clearly this film has been an inspiration for others, even if it's not widely known, nor has ever seen a U.S. media release. If you happen to have a multi-region DVD player, you can actually get the French version of Livid. It comes with English subtitles. It just makes it a little bit frustrating because you do have to have a region-free player to be able to see it. The filmmakers here are Julien Maury and Alexandre Bustillo, who made Inside, which is part of the French wave of extreme horror films. Inside is an excellent film, but if you saw it and thought it was way too intense for you, okay, just note that Livid, nowhere near as gruesome, but again, it's going to be a bit of a challenge to find a viewable copy. Coming in at number 5 is The Roost from 2005. This is the feature debut of director Ty West, long before the acclaimed X-Film series he is currently known for. The film follows 4 friends, Trevor, Allison, Brian, and Elliot, who are headed to a wedding on Halloween night when their car crashes in a remote rural area. Seeking help, they stumble across a seemingly abandoned farmhouse, only to discover that the barn is a nest for a strain of vicious vampire bats who, once they bite their victims, they end up turning them all into the bloodthirsty undead. The narrative is uniquely framed by a device that I just adore, a fictional late-night horror show called Frightmare Theater, hosted by a ghoulish butler portrayed by a droll Tom Noonan, who would go on, of course, to do another Ty West film, House of the Devil. All of this adds a nice nostalgic touch, reminiscent of late-night flicks when you had classic horror hosts that would sometimes derail the films, and you certainly have that here. Our horror host rewinds the film to present a different ending. This was shot on 16mm film, so The Roost embraces those low-budget roots. It delivers a gritty, lo-fi aesthetic that pays homage to 1970s B-grade horror films. The film's minimalist approach and eerie atmosphere make it a perfect choice for Halloween-themed viewing. Given the amount of acclaim that Ty West has received in the last few years, I'm surprised I never hear anybody talk about this film at all, but it is a fantastic movie. The blend of creature feature thrills and atmospheric tension offer a really nice addition to any Halloween movie lineup. Next is Hell House LLC from 2015. This is a found footage horror film that unfolds as a documentary investigating a tragic incident that occurred during the opening night of a Halloween-themed haunted house attraction in an old hotel in Abaddon, New York. 5 years prior, 15 people, both staff and visitors, died under very mysterious circumstances when an unexplained malfunction led to just chaos within the haunted house. The documentary crew delves into the events leading up to the disaster, utilizing interviews and footage provided by the sole surviving staff member, Sarah. As they piece together the timeline, unsettling occurrences and eerie phenomena captured on tape suggest that the tragedy may have been the result of something far more sinister than just an accident. The film blends supernatural horror with the found footage vibe, and there are some really chilling moments in this particular film. It inspired a wave of 3 additional sequels expanding the legends around the hotel, but personally, I think that this one really is the one that keeps viewers on edge. Hell House LLC has garnered acclaim for its atmospheric tension, the film's portrayal of a haunted attraction gone awry, and the very realistic footage and news coverage. It makes it a great Halloween watch. At number 3 from 1992 is Ghostwatch. This is a groundbreaking British mockumentary that aired on BBC One on Halloween night in 1992. It's sneaky because it's presented as a live broadcast following a team of BBC reporters and presenters, including very well-known personalities like Michael Parkinson, Sarah Green, Mike Smith, and Craig Charles, as they investigate paranormal disturbances at a family home in Greater London. The family, consisting of Mother Pamela along with her 2 daughters, Suzanne and Kim, report the sort of paranormal experiences that they've been having with a very malevolent entity called Pipes. As the broadcast progresses, the investigation delves deeper into the house's history and increasingly disturbing events impacting the team on site and in the studio. The show's realistic presentation and use of actual BBC personalities really contributed to its convincing portrayal. On its initial airing, Ghostwatch caused quite a significant stir, with many people believing that the events they were witnessing were real, and that led to widespread controversy and discussions about the responsibility of broadcasters. Just like Orson Welles' famed War of the Worlds radio broadcast on October the 30th, 1938, this film ended up sort of tricking a slew of people into believing it was all really happening. The show's impact was profound, and it has since been recognized as a seminal piece of horror television. Ghostwatch remains a unique and influential entry in the horror genre. Its innovative approach was so impressive, and so many people were genuinely terrified it was never broadcast again in the UK. At number 2 is Dark Harvest from 2023. This movie is set in a rural town in Illinois during Halloween 1963. It centers on a chilling annual ritual called the Run. And each year, a supernatural entity called Sawtooth Jack, an eerie scarecrow with a flaming pumpkin head, emerges from the cornfields. The town's teenage boys are tasked with stopping him before he reaches the church by midnight. Failure to do so means a doomed harvest and terrible consequences for the community. Richie Shepard is a rebellious teen whose older brother won the Run the previous year, and despite being barred from participating due to his family's past win, Richie defies the rules, joining the hunt alongside his friends. But Richie uncovers secrets about the town's traditions and faces choices that could alter the cycle. This is directed by David Slade, and it comes from the novel of the same name by Norman Partridge. It's going to be very much sort of coming-of-age drama and also folk horror. I will admit the movie will not appeal to everyone. It's got all the Halloween feels you could ask for. You've got great creature effects, an engaging idea, a director who helmed 30 Days of Night. You have the small town eeriness and the cornfield, but Some people are not going to understand it's meant to reflect McCarthyism and the events of the Cold War because the film leans into Ritchie questioning instead of conforming. This requires some suspension of disbelief to get the point across. This means I can see a lot of people asking questions like, I don't understand the ritual, as in, how did it get started? What are the rules? Why is everyone cursed? Why can't people leave? There's only one cop in town and he's supposed to keep everyone trapped. But in all these years, no one successfully got out. And what's the point of the Harvest Guild? And how many people really know what's happening? Or why are the boys locked up for 3 days without food and water, and yet they come out sort of like Lord of the Flies, all ramped up on hunger and testosterone? And all those are great questions, but the film is not about explaining the rationale behind why these things are happening. So, if you're okay with that and knowing that this is a parody of the early 1960s and it's more about The Purge meets The Outsiders meets Pumpkinhead, then okay, you're going to have a good time. If you can't see this as a parable and you need more logic, as in hardcore reasons and rationale, then I think you're going to find it disappointing or frustrating. I read the book and it's not as good as that, but I avoided this film because of negative reviews, and it was so much better than I expected just based on that feedback. Believe me, I had a lot of questions too, the same ones that many of you will have as well, but it's okay. I understood the point that they were making, and I was okay viewing this more as a morality fable. And at number 1 from 2016 is the movie Boys in the Trees. This is set on Halloween night in 1997 in suburban Adelaide, Australia. It follows Corey. He's a high school senior, he's an aspiring photographer, but he finds himself at a bit of a crossroads between his current social circle and his past. It's that awkward teen time, right? Between you're leaving the trick-or-treating behind, but you're not quite old enough yet to be moving into adulthood. After a night partying with his skateboarding friends, Corey unexpectedly reunites with Jonah, an estranged childhood best friend who's the subject of a lot of bullying. As they walk home together, the two embark on a surreal journey through their memories, their dreams, their fears of the future, all blurring the lines between reality and fantasy. This film weaves a coming-of-age drama with snippets of sort of supernatural undertones, but it is not a horror film. I don't want you going into it thinking that you're going to see something that you're not. This is much more of a haunting, atmospheric movie about friendship and identity and the bittersweet challenges of growing up, even though there are so many things, good and bad, trying to hold you back. But this is a great Halloween watch. It has evocative cinematography, a cool 90s soundtrack, and it merges heartfelt storytelling with eerie, dreamlike sequences. I've been reading and watching horror for many years, and it doesn't really matter the medium, if it's books or TV shows or movies or comics, doesn't matter. You get to the point where, yeah, it becomes pretty predictable. And so, yes, I knew exactly where this movie was going within about 5 minutes in, but still, I was super surprised by the sort of surrealism and the fairy tale like vibe that this movie presented. There's no spoilers here, so I'll be super vague. If you're not a sentimental person, if you're more cynical, you're going to hate this movie. But if you are okay with hard truths wrapped in sort of misty nostalgia, you'll love it. If you remember that the wonder and terror of your own childhood imaginations were kind of a way of coping with the realities of growing up and dealing with trauma, then I think this one is for you. Oh, that was a tough group to put together. I will not lie to you. It was very difficult trying to find movies that are set on Halloween, but they're not necessarily the tried and true movies that you would have heard of before. And so I went through a lot of different options before settling on these 10 little gems. But I think it has everything that you might want. Clever, spooky, creepy, nostalgic, funny. I think you're going to enjoy these. Have you seen any of these movies before? Or do you have a little Halloween gem that you think should be added to this list for next year? Please let me know that down in the comments as well. If you like this kind of content, please hit the like and subscribe button so you will not miss out on any underrated movie recommendations. Until next time, everybody, stay safe, Stay curious, stay scared, and let's make every day Halloween.